Okay, everybody, what's up? How y'all doing? You tuned into the Proper Perspective podcast. Thank you for joining in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, and drop a comment. So what we talking about today?
So we pocket watching now. That's what we're doing nowadays. It's become cool to just pocket watch and criticize people for making money. When did that become cool? When did that become woke? When did that become conscious? I mean, I understand taking a look. I understand making sure somebody isn't playing a game with you. But if you around here, you in business, you yourself are in business to make money. You yourself have a media business and you generate money out of your media business. And then you criticize somebody else for generating money out of their media business. I mean, how is this not hypocrisy? So, you got AntonDaniels, you got TariqNasheed, you got OshayJackson, all screaming bloody murder about Roland Martin's $350,000 check. Because he had, is it that you're angry because you didn't have the forethought or you didn't have the knowledge, skills, and abilities? You didn't know how to set up your company before you jumped on YouTube so that your company can present itself as a media company to take advertising dollars? Is that what it really is? Are you that angry that Roland Martin was smart enough to set up New Vision Media as the advertising leg of his company so that everything that he does online as a media personality or as a journalist, whichever way you want to call it, is still a part of his media company? Is that what it is? You're just angry? You're just jealous? I mean, what else could it be? Like, you're on YouTube, he's on YouTube. You've monetized your channel, he monetizes his channel. You are looking for payments, he's looking for payments. You didn't get a paycheck, he got a paycheck. Oh my God, I can't believe Roland Martin is taking money. If Donald Trump would have knocked on your door and said, here's $350,000, you would have turned it down? Hell, for all that matter, if Kamala Harris knocked on your door and said, here's a check for $350,000, run my ads, you would have turned it down? I can't believe, no, ain't no way. Even though I recognize you are clearly a Republican or Republican leaning or pro-Republican, pro-Trump in any way, shape, form, capacity that you deem appropriate for you. And I'm not criticizing anybody that wants to jump ship from the Titanic of the Democratic Party. I might criticize you for jumping on the Hindenburg balloon as the Republican Party.
So much controversy and a lot of deception. You don't know who's coming through with the light and reflection, and whose mouth is mumbling, trick knowledge deceptive. Shabazz break it down with the proper perspective. So much controversy and a lot of deception. You don't know who's coming through with the light and reflection, and whose mouth is mumbling, trick knowledge deceptive. Shabazz break it down with the proper perspective. Shabazz break it down with the proper perspective. Break it down with the proper perspective.
What we talking about?
And I'm not criticizing anybody that wants to jump ship from the Titanic of the Democratic Party. I might criticize you for jumping on the Hindenburg balloon as the Republican Party, but that's another story. But regardless of who you choose to align yourself with politically, how are you going to get in pretzel style bent out of shapeness because another brother from another mother got paid? It's just jealousy. That's all it is. It's jealousy. Okay, if it's not jealousy, it's hate. If it's not hate, again, It's COINTELPRO. I'm trying to tell y'all, people think COINTELPRO ended because it got discovered and the government said, we sorry, we ain't gonna do that again. All they did was go underground. That's the very nature of black ops, is to have operations going on that are not on the books. And so for anybody who thinks COINTELPRO is over, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. And I live in Virginia. So, but again, for real, if you think that Roland Martin getting paid to advertise, to show commercials for a political candidate, I mean, to really make that be the expose that you want it to be, can you show me that Donald Trump offered Roland Martin $350,000 and Roland Martin turned it down? Then you have a smoking gun. Why are you taking one party's paycheck over the other? But if you can't show me that there were consistent or diligent or honest efforts from the opposing candidate to make a payment to advertise, then you're just mad that you picked the cheap guy. You can be Republican all you want to, but don't blame somebody for being a Democrat and getting paid by the Democrats when you don't get paid. If you want to get paid, you need to jump on the side where black people get paid. Because I don't care how much anybody screams about being Republican, siding with Republicans, aligning with Republicans. They will take your vote, but they will not cut you a check. Not in any significant form. So unless you show me, if I'm wrong, then OshayJackson, AntonDaniels, TariqNasheed, and anybody else that's criticizing Roland Martin for getting paid to advertise, show me the checks you got. Or show me the checks, show me the offers you got and you turned them down. Don't be holier than thou just because you broke. All y'all got media companies. I know good darn well you brothers with 50,000 viewers, 100,000 viewers, 300,000 viewers, I know good darn well y'all are not sitting on YouTube just to get paid as a personal entity. You either got a LLC or a corporation. You got some kind of business license to collect them checks. So you just mad that Roland Martin got paid and you didn't. What kind of pocket watching hater-ish is that? Pocket watching. What kind of pocket watching hater-ish is that? Tell me this. Why is it that it's so easy for you brothers, for you black men, to do an expose on Roland Martin and what he got paid from Kamala Harris? Why is it so easy to do that, but mum's the word on what kind of money Trump was spending? Why? I mean, if you really want to do an expose, wouldn't you look at both parties? If you're really trying to say, so like, is the idea that spending money for advertising is bad? Of course not. That's not what you're trying to say. You're trying to malign another black man, either because you're being paid under the table. So how much you getting paid? How much are you getting paid to point the finger at Roland Martin? You know, there's an adage that says every time you point a finger at somebody, you're pointing 3 back at yourself. Give me a shout if you heard that adage. Every time you pointing a finger at somebody, you're pointing 3 back at yourself. So think about that. When OshayJackson wants to say, ooh, Roland Martin's bad because he got paid, he's pointing a finger at Roland Martin and 3 back at him. When TariqNasheed wants to call Roland out his name, he's pointing a finger at Roland Martin and 3 back at himself. When AntonDaniels wants to sit there like he's so cool and calm and he's so logical and he's pointing a finger at Roland Martin He's pointing 3 back at himself. Again, at the end of the day, don't be mad because somebody got paid. You better go ask that brother how you set your company up. Apparently, you haven't done it. So again, either you haven't set your company up where you can receive that kind of money, or you have, it ain't nobody knocking on your door. So either way, maybe you need to go ask Roland Martin how you do that. If you in it to win it. Don't give me none of this nonsense about you only in it for the cause. You only in it for the people. If you only in it for the cause, if you only in it for the people, then money isn't your concern. Your channel ain't monetized. You don't take advertisements from anybody. If one commercial plays during your broadcast, during your restream, during your YouTube plays, then you're looking for the bread. Now, why would I hate on you? I ain't hating on you. If the rest of us can, if we can look up to you, if we can admire your progress, if we can admire what you're doing, because you're doing whatever it is you're passionate about, you doing it, you took it to YouTube and you getting a check. That's a thing to be applauded. So why tear another brother down just because he's on the opposite side of the political aisle? And especially like if it was still pre-election, if this was before the election, maybe you could make the argument that it's just the political mudslinging that goes back and forth. But this is well after the election. The numbers have been counted. The ballots have been counted. Everybody knows who won. There may be some more lies and tricks about whether or not the win was a landslide. There may be some lies and tricks on whether or not Trump has a mandate from the people. Those exaggerations are political mudslinging, political tricks. And even though they're not acceptable, they're tolerable before the election. But why are you brothers on the internet trying to take another brother down after the election? That speaks to something way more sinister. And I got a problem with that. Just as a person who enjoys watching most all of your content. I watch your shows. I learned some stuff from your shows. I appreciate your content. But to sit up here and try to vilify a man, look, on the real, I don't even like Roland Martin. For me, the jury was always out on Roland Martin for a very long time. I kind of like some of the things that he would say. I kind of appreciated some of the things that he did. And I'll be honest with you, I really lost a ton of respect when he did what's now probably referred to as the infamous Dr. Umar interview. I really think that he lost control. I really think that he missed the boat, missed the mark. I really think he did a terrible interview. Roland Martin, that is. I think that he went in hot and he went at Dr. Umar in a very negative manner. In much the same manner as the negative way that all these other guys are going after Roland right now. But the saddest thing of all of that is who loses when this type of stuff jumps off? We as a people lose. Roland ain't going to be hurting because his money is still coming. Dr. Umar wasn't hurting off of that video because the people that believe in his mission and support his mission continue believing and supporting his mission. Who was hurt are the people at large, because there were people who were in hopes of supporting Dr. Umar's mission. And then they decided, I don't know, maybe I should keep my dollar in my pocket. But the mission goes on. The mission continues. And Dr. Umar is steady stepping. Roland Martin goes steady step. He ain't gonna lose no sleep over it. He already addressed it on his own show. He already blinked you out. He already blotted you out because your argument was ridiculous in the first place. He already showed you the check came because he has an advertising company. So again, I gotta keep saying it. If you don't have an advertising company set up with yours, stop crying about him and get your paperwork straight. So I'm gonna play this thing here. Let me share my screen and play this clip.
Get money for political ads.
This
He's
is
trying to
TariqNasheed.
spin this like he's just doing a political ad.
If you can hear
He's
it.
doing some type of media advertisement. This is not media advertisement. What Roland is doing is not media advertisement, because if you're going to run yourself or portray yourself as a media outlet, you have to be objective. The name of the game is being objective. You listen to both sides.
Hold on. Hold up. Let me stop this there. What? Okay, so according to TariqNasheed, you cannot be media unless you're objective. Now, in our fantasy world, this might be true. This might be something this might even be what they teach in journalism school, that you have to be objective. Of course, we've heard that. But like, we in the grown-up world, like, what media company really is objective? Like, we clearly know this. So yeah, it would be nice if all media companies were objective. None are. Some may lean closer to objectivity than others. But I mean, come on now. CNN might be objective in some ways. If somebody wanted to make the argument that Fox News is objective, I mean, off top, I would be like, you done lost your mind. But I will hear an argument. If you say Fox News is objective, I can at least listen to an argument. But the idea that you cannot be a media company, corporation, organization, you cannot present yourself as media unless you are objective, then there's no media in the country. So again, this criticism, here's what I want. I want, if Black people, if we are not going to stop tearing each other down, especially those of us, I can't say us, I'm not in the group, especially the ones within our group who truly have humongous platforms. If you have a humongous platform and you are clearly seen as a recognizable influencer, leader, or spokesperson, so that group of people, if y'all will refuse to stop tearing each other down, then it is incumbent upon us as the people to stop being so gullible. The government, the enemy, the agencies, the COINTELPRO strategies, the crabs in a bucket mentalities can only win, can only be victorious when we as the population, as the masses, unfortunately, those of us who are stuck in triple stages of darkness, we, like, even if we are not going to come out of the triple stages of darkness, if we're going to remain this 85%, we got to open up one eye. We got to stop being this daggone gullible so as to believe whatever comes out of people's mouths, so as to not take that information and criticize it and analyze it. You can't just swallow this kind of poison full scale. So again, he's pushing the idea that Roland Martin is bad, unreliable, untrustworthy, or whatever negative term suits your personal boat. He's anti-Roland Martin because Roland got a check. He's saying Roland Martin cannot be considered media because Roland Martin is not objective, because he's only listening to one side. Once again, if that is supposed to be a good point, then you show me, since you're making the argument, Mr. Nasheed, show me that the Republican Party, the Republican campaign, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance went to Roland Martin, offered him $350,000, and he turned it down. Then you could at least say he's not being objective. If you can prove that he refuses money from other candidates, you can say he's not being objective. But even if you do that, the lack of objectivity does not take away your right, your ability, your presence as a media company. You do not have to be objective to be a media company, because you could clearly show if Democrats, if Kamala Harris, if Biden, if Democrats only pay advertising dollars to companies that are supportive of their campaign, it would equally be true that Republicans only pay companies that are supportive of their campaign. It would make perfect sense. So if Fox News in any kind of way received advertising dollars from anything on the right that supported Trump, that would make sense. That would not mean Fox News is not a media company. And for the most part, even though I said, yeah, I'm open to an argument that Fox News is objective, I am definitely biased. I haven't found really much objectivity on that network. Yeah, I think you would sooner be able to make an argument that the Fox Corporation has some semblance of objectivity or balance, because as a corporation, they're into more than just the news. So you could easily go and look at all of the black shows that have come out of Fox Corporation and play those against the news network. I haven't done a dive on it, so I could be wrong. Maybe the Fox Corporation that creates and sponsors and puts on those TV shows that have black characters and black casts, maybe it's disconnected from the Fox Corporation. I don't even mind being wrong, because if I am wrong, that takes away the only shred of balance, objectivity that I could see you giving an eye towards. Otherwise, Fox is just as one-sided as anybody else. And so again, to say Roland Martin can't be media because he is not balanced, because he picks a side, I mean, that's elementary thinking. That's rather pedestrian. It's not conscious. It's not woke. It's not, I dare say it's not intelligent, but I ain't really trying to go there. But it's certainly a one-sided view. It's highly suspect. It still reeks of agentism, COINTELPRO-ism, attack, character assassination on another black person. And it's all rooted in hate, because, again, there's no way you're going to tell me the person pointing that finger would not have taken that check. I'm going to share my screen.
Anytime we would ask questions about tangibles, all the Democratic shills, they would call up, wagging their little musty fingers, talking about we must be getting paid by the Republicans.
So again, he said anytime we would ask questions about tangibles, we would get attacked by the Democrat-leaning side with the accusation that they must be getting paid by the Republicans. Okay, I ain't mad at that. Again, remember I said that I watch all of these people's content. I have an appreciation for everybody's perspective to some degree. You know, I'm not mad at anybody that asks for tangibles. Again, this is the Proper Perspective Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm not mad at anybody that asks for tangibles. Now, I'm mad if you ask for tangibles from one side and you don't ask for tangibles from the other side. You are 100% right. We need to ask for it. We need to demand tangibles from the Democrats. But we also need to demand tangibles for all the brothers, for all the sisters, for all the black people. If you voted for Trump, you need to demand tangibles. Don't just run around here celebrating that Trump won and then you can just go back to chilling. No, if you voted for Trump, because the way the game goes, this is what everybody says. They say you can only demand something from the person that you voted for. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's the running game. So with that being said, the 20% that they say voted Republican, it's your job to demand tangibles from the Republicans. You need to get up on the stick. Where's your videos? You had all these videos about not voting for Kamala. I'm cool with that. I didn't want to vote for Kamala. I'm not a Democrat. You had all these posts on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever else. Don't vote for Kamala, vote for Trump. We need to get off the Democratic plantation. Cool. Now, demand tangibles. What are your tangibles that you're demanding from Trump? Demand a black person be put in charge of the Department of Education. Oops, too late. Demand that a black person be in charge of housing and urban development. Oops, too late. Where are your tangibles? Where are your demanding tangibles videos for Trump? He's the president-elect. Tell him that on his first day in office, you demand that he address such and such. Where's the reparations check? Tell Trump to sign the reparations executive order to put it in effect. Where are your videos on that? You're spending more time. Now you want to talk about Roland Martin getting a check. Who cares? The election is over. Demand the tangibles from your candidate. Because according to the game, we ain't allowed to demand those tangibles. We didn't support Trump. That don't mean I supported Kamala. But even if I did, if I supported Kamala, if I supported the Green Party, if I supported the Love Warrior Party, if I supported the Socialist Party, I can't demand nothing from Trump. But you brothers supported Trump. AntonDaniels, OshayJackson, TariqNasheed, and anybody else. Y'all voted for Trump. Or y'all acted like y'all voted for Trump. Maybe you didn't vote at all. I don't know. But you act like you voted for Trump. Where are your videos demanding the tangibles? Demand reparations from Donald Trump. Make sure you can hear it.
You can go ahead and check that out. Look at it on the AntonDaniels channel. It's right here. All right. Let's deep dive. Harris sat down for a friendly interview with the MSNBC host on October 20th, in which he asked her what she wanted her legacy to be 50 years from now. Sharpton wasn't the only media ally that received a payment from the campaign to his organization ahead of their sit-down interview, a bombshell New York Times report revealed. Now, before we get into the person that I really want to deep dive into, and I have a feeling that you guys already know because
he calls it a bombshell. Maybe I'm taking that out of context. But hold on. Again, this is what I mean. I'll tell you why these brothers are not balanced. Because they ain't really doing no research. Oh, he didn't go to the FEC. Or what was it? It was the FCC. He didn't go to the FCC and dig into expenditures of both parties. He didn't even go there and look up the spending patterns of just Kamala Harris. He's just reading one article from one news source. Now, I ain't necessarily mad that you're reading the article, but what I'm saying is we as the viewers, we got to be better. We got to realize that all these dudes is in it for the money. He mad because he didn't get a check from Kamala, but he got a monetized channel and he trying to get some of that back. And what he's doing is reading all the information put out by one news agency. It doesn't matter if the news agency itself is balanced. It doesn't matter if the news agency itself is, like TariqNasheed, considering both sides. What matters is he's getting all of his information from one news agency. They did a dive into Kamala Harris's expenditures, but mum's the word on Trump's expenditures. So unless you show me that Trump spent no money, unless you show me Trump made attempts to spend money with Democratic leaning, with left leaning advertising companies, and they turned them down, or with Roland Martin to be in particular, because it's really funny that you only criticizing Roland Martin. You're not criticizing MSNBC. You're not criticizing any organization that is left leaning that ran ads. You only criticizing Roland Martin for his $350,000. And again, anybody, if you go back to Roland Martin's own expose, breaking down over $1 billion that was spent, but y'all mad at the brother that made a third. They got one check. Where the other 700 go? What non-black organizations got the rest of that money that y'all don't want to talk about? And why don't y'all want to talk about them? And why don't y'all want to talk about them? And why don't y'all want to talk about them? This is what I mean. Okay, like, welcome to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Proper Perspective Podcast. One of the biggest reasons I decided to start this, I like to talk about issues that's important. But one of the things that's important is that the viewers, I'm so grateful that you're here. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. But listen, for real, don't just swallow this information that they're giving you without carefully contemplating, considering, and thinking about all of the angles. Because the proper perspective would be that you cannot blame one guy for getting paid when the other 17 guys in the game got paid. When you do that, something's wrong. Something's fishy around here. Something smelly is going on. I particularly choose to call it COINTELPRO.
The game is deep.
I particularly choose to call it agentism. You operating like those plants, those agents that were put into the Black Panther Party, that snuck into the Nation of Islam, that snuck around the Deacons of Defense. That's how you acting. Whether you are one or not remains to be seen, but that's how you acting. So again, don't fall for the okie doke people. When dudes come around, when brothers come around and all they doing is pointing fingers, take an extra sniff. Again, this is the Proper Perspective Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you disagree with me, fine, but hit me with something that makes sense. Tell me why you disagree with me. Peace.
So much controversy and a lot of deception. You don't know who's coming through with the light and reflection, and whose mouth is mumbling, trick knowledge deceptive. Shabazz break it down with the proper perspective. So much controversy and a lot of deception. You don't know who's coming through with the light and reflection, and whose mouth is mumbling, trick knowledge deceptive. Shabazz break it down with the proper perspective. Shabazz break it down with the proper perspective. Break it down with the proper perspective. It's the breakdown with the proper perspective. This the breakdown with the proper perspective.
The proper perspective.